Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Myself Dr. Sumit Patil, and I make videos upon English literature, and up till now I have made several videos upon history of English literature as well as several other periods also, and biographies also I have made, and today I would be talking about very important key people. There are three important people who were called as group of poets and who supported none other than King Charles the One or King Charles the First. And now these people, they were supporting King Charles the One, and they were also called as Cavalier poets. Now today in this video I would be talking about Cavalier poets who are Robert Herrick, Thomas Carew, Richard Lovelace and John Suckling. So these are the important people, as well as Edward Heller also. So I would be talking about these people, where they were born, and then what are the different characteristics of these people, and apart from that, why these people are called Cavalier poets. So let's begin. Now if I talk about Cavalier poets, the first and the foremost thing you must remember is they were called this Cavalier poets because they came from a school of English poets of the 17th century, and they supported, as I right now told you, King Charles the One during the English Civil War, which was prevailing from the years, that is 1642 to 1651. And King Charles the First, he was a connoisseur of fine arts, and he supported poets who created the art he craved. Now these poets were, as I told you, Thomas Carew, Richard Lovelace, Robert Herrick and Sir John Suckling. And these people, they supported the art which King Charles the One, he loved, and these poets in turn grouped themselves with the king, his service, and thus became the Cavalier poets. So now it is clear to all of you that why it is called as Cavalier poets, because they supported King Charles the First. Then these people, the Cavaliers, were traditionally a kind of soldiers or knight when the term was applied to these people who supported King Charles the First. And it was also these people, they portrayed them as roistering gallants, and the term here, that is a cavalier, was meant to be belittle and as an insult also, but they were separate in their lifestyle, and they divided on religion from the Roundheads who supported Parliament, and consisting often of Puritans. Now Puritans means those people, if you remember that Puritan age which starts from the year 1649 and it ends in the year 1660 when Oliver Cromwell was ruling from 1652 onwards till 1656 or 57, and 1 or 2 years his son was also ruling. So what is happening here is there are people who are supporting King Charles the One on one hand, and there are people who are supporting Puritanism. And as I told you, these 3 to 4 people, that is Robert Herrick, Richard Lovelace and Thomas Carew, as well as Sir John Suckling, are the important people in this group, such as which is called as Cavalier poets. And now if I talk about the characteristics of these people or characteristics of Cavalier poetry, it is different from traditional poetry, wherein its subject is also different, and they instead of working on the issues such as religion, philosophy or arts, these people, Cavalier poets, they focused on their joy and simple gratification of celebration and things much livelier than the traditional works of their predecessors. And their works often promoted the King Charles I as well as Cavalier poets. They spoke outwardly against the Roundheads who supported the rebellion of Parliament against the King Charles. And these people, they often used allegorical or classical references, and if I tell you about classical references, they referred to Horace, Cicero and Ovid, and they used resources which were able, wherein they produced poetry, and that kind of poetry which impressed King Charles the First. And these poets also created poetry wherein both the things, that is pleasure and virtue, thrived. And this poetry was rich in reference to the ancients as well as pleasing. And they commonly held the triads certainly exist, which existed in the Cavalier poetry. And most of these poems, they celebrated about beauty, nature, love, sensuality, drinking, good fellowship, brotherhood, honor, and social life. And these people, they also focused poetries and their attitude wherein carpe diem, which means seize the day, that is, do the things which you think on the day and complete that as much as possible on the same day. And these Cavalier poets, they certainly wrote to promote the things which King Charles the First did, and they also presented the things which was highlighted by King Charles the First, and they also gave a kind of symbol from their poetries, that living life to the fullest. And their themes were also contributed to the triumphant and boisterous tone and their attitude of their poetry. And another thing, it is important here that Platonic love was also another characteristic of these people, that is Cavalier poetries, where the man should show his divine love to a woman, as well as where she would be worshipped as a creature of perfection. If I give you one example here, from John Milton's Paradise Lost, Adam and Eve, they are the two important humans who are known as the creature or the perfect people created by God. And here Cavalier people, they also closely linked to royalist cause in their main content of the poetry, wherein they glorified the crown. And they also grouped with the political category of poems, wherein the most of their poems were written by these 3 to 4 people, wherein they advocated the cause of monarchy in some way. And writers, they also felt that under this categorization during their lifetime, their poetry began to be recognized at its own genre with the beginning of the English Civil War, wherein it started in 1642, as I told you. And there men began to write in the defense of the crown, that is the other people, that is Roundheads, who supported the parliament. And then apart from that, these men were considered by many to write in a nostalgic tone, in that their work should be promoted by the principles and practices of the monarchy that was under philosophical and eventually literal attack. And there was also a celebration of the monarchy of King Charles the First among the Cavalier poets, wherein Ben Jonson in particular celebrated ideas of common sense, duty, moderation, propriety, and elegance. And these ideas did not belong to the ancients, but rather belonged to the court and to England. And in this way, although the Cavaliers embraced the old ways of thinking from the ancients, they also incorporated their own ideas and thoughts into their poetry. And this made their writings applicable for the era they were writing in, and also portrayed the greatness of the crown, that is King Charles the First. And apart from these things, if I tell you that what were the main things that they did, that is a kind of they mirrored attitudes of the courtiers, such as soldiers, as I told you, knights. And the meaning of cavalier, as I told you, is often a kind of arrogant or offhand disregard or dismissive, carefree people. And now, if I tell you the difference between metaphysical and cavalier poetry, now metaphysical people, as I told you, they're directly connected with life, and cavalier people, they directly connected with the life, and metaphysical people, they marked irony, paradox, and striking comparisons of dissimilar things. So in the upcoming video, I would be talking about the metaphysical poets. I hope you all have got the slight idea about I hope you all have got a slight idea about the Cavalier poets, wherein how and why they supported King Charles I during the English Civil War. Now, if I tell you the time frame, that is the Queen Elizabeth's period 1558 to 1603, 1603 to 1625 King James I, then 1625 to 1649 King Charles the, that is this period, and after that 1625 to 1649 King Charles rules, and 1649 to 1660, that is the period when interregnum, Puritanism or Commonwealth age starts. So I hope you all have got a slight idea about Cavalier poets, which are those people. Richard Lovelace, Thomas Carew, John Suckling are the important people who followed or who supported King Charles I. With this, I conclude this video. I hope you all have liked this video. Please don't forget to share with your family and friends, those who are interested in English literature. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get the upcoming notification. Please click the red button there, as well as notification bell icon. And you can also follow me on Instagram, which wherein I have given the link in the description box. Thank you.